Olympics was as far as you can take the sport. I mean, that was the pinnacle of the sport's success. I mean, that was like the Super Bowl of football or the World Series of baseball.
And I like to put out to all the kids that's interested and want to go to college is get your books. You have that potential, basketball or whatever you're going to play. Be ready to enter Division I college whenever you are recruited.
His coaches have been very, very helpful and very instrumental in helping him reach his goal, and that was to become a professional basketball player.
Some of the greatest athletes in the world have come from the north side of Tulsa, Oklahoma. The key to their success has been through hard work and determination. Today, these athletes serve as role models for future generations who dream of succeeding against the odds. One of Tulsa's greatest basketball players is Lee Mayberry. Mayberry began his career at BC Franklin Park. He graduated from Rogers High School and started at point guard for the Arkansas Razorbacks under head coach Nolan Richardson. Mayberry was drafted by the Milwaukee Bucks and is currently a key player on the team.
I've always said this, I could tell, and I used to say this when he was like in the 5th and 6th grade, that I knew he was going to be special at this. You know, it was just something about in this 5th and 6th grade that he was good then.
For 7 straight years, Reuben Gant was a dynamic football player for the Buffalo Bills. Gant began his career in the 6th grade at the Salvation Army Boys Club on North Harvard. From there, he went to Anderson Junior High and played a variety of sports. Gant played high school football at Booker T. Washington. For 3 straight years, under the leadership of Ed Lacey, the Hornets won the state championship. Later, Gant attended Oklahoma State University on a football scholarship. In 1974, he was drafted by the Buffalo Bills in the first round. He was the 18th player selected for that year. In 1978, he was selected as the Offensive Lineman of the Year by the Buffalo Bills. Currently, Gant is working in communications in Tulsa.
And probably the most important thing that I can tell or say to young blacks growing up today is don't quit daring to dream, because dreams do come true. They can become realities, and I think I'm a living example of that.
James Quick Tillis went to Gilcrease Junior High and graduated from McLean High School. Tillis had his first amateur fight at age 15 when a local publicist labeled him Quick because he needed a nickname for a press release. Overall, Tillis compiled a 92-8 record as an amateur and lost in the 1976 Olympics to future heavyweight champion John Tate. During his 12-year boxing career, Tillis was known as a fighting cowboy who battled world champions that include Pinklin Thomas, Greg Page, Tim Witherspoon, Mike Weaver, and Mike Tyson. With a record of 37 wins, 17 losses with 28 knockouts, Tillis has the distinction of giving Mike Tyson one of his toughest fights, losing a 10-round decision by a single point in 1986.
Well, James Theodore Tillis is my oldest son. As a little boy, he always wanted to be something or someone. And he had a wide vision. He wanted to be a champion as a little boy at 5 years old. He would go around the house and in the yard, and he would box everything he could. He would box on his sisters, and he'd box on the walls, and he'd box the trees. And one day, a man come along for Christmas and bought him the little boxing training set, and he was so delighted. And he began to work with him, and he began to dwell in his mind, I'm going to be a champion. I'm going to be a champion. Watch me, Mama. I'm going to be a champion. I'm going to be somebody.
Tony Brooks started playing football at the Salvation Army Mabee Center on North Cincinnati. He went to Booker T. Washington High School and later received a football scholarship to Notre Dame.
Here we go. Come on.
Well, what do you say? Brooks breaks tackles, Bettis breaks tackles. The offensive line blocking beautifully. Just a moment ago, Mirko Jerkovic did a great job of trapping. This is Notre Dame at its best.
The kick by Hendrick is good. Senior Tony Brooks from Tulsa, Oklahoma. His 4th touchdown of the year. He's number 7 all-time in Notre Dame rushing. Well over 2,000 yards. And this brilliant 12-yard effort, using his balance and his power to drive into the end zone.
But he was on championship teams from day one to all through the Mabee Center and Carver, middle school, and on into high school. He made this one.
Yeah, they've known what it is to win, and he got a feel of winning and the taste of winning, and he's not one to let go. Even today, he didn't play last year after being drafted by the Eagles, but he's as determined today to be one of the top backs in the country professionally as he was when he was a little boy.
Richard Dumas also began his athletic career at an early age. He was a basketball star at Booker T. Washington High School. Later, he went to Oklahoma State University on a basketball scholarship. After playing overseas in international competition, he played with the semi-professional Oklahoma City Cavaliers. Currently, he is a key player for the Phoenix Suns in the National Basketball Association.
Evan Johnson. For Dan Marley shooting the 3. Air ball. Dumas puts it down.
I think the thing that I remember the first day when he was born, first time I looked at him, he was all feet, all fingers. He was a long, skinny kid, and I looked at the doctor, and I thought, oh, my goodness, he's the ugliest little thing I'd ever seen. And the doctor assured me he'd get better looking, and he did get better looking, but the feet kept growing. When he was 12, he wore size 12. 13, he wore size 13. When he was 14, the shoe size went up to a 14. When he was 15, it got up to a 15. When he was 16, the shoe size went up again to a 16. And I kept thinking at that time, my God, I hope he doesn't go up to a 17 when he's 17. Fortunately, it did stop growing. The feet did stop growing, and he ended up with a size 16 shoe.
That was probably the greatest moment in my life, and just making the team. I tell you, when I look back on it, when you opening ceremonies start, and they said, "Let the games begin." I mean, there's no feeling like that in the world that I've ever felt, and it's just kind of hard to explain because it's just really exciting that to know that you're representing the United States, and you're wearing red, white, and blue, and you're representing the whole country. And when I look back on it, for me, I was representing not only the United States, but I was representing everyone that's ever wrestled with me when we first started at the YMCA. All those kids that were wrestling back in that time, I represented everyone. Everyone that ever wrestled with me, I felt like I represented, and so that was a great feeling to know that I was carrying that torch.
Kenny Mundy began wrestling at the age of 5. With strong support from his parents, as a junior high school wrestler, he was undefeated. He continued his winning streak at Booker T. Washington High School under head coach Ernie Jones by remaining undefeated for 4 years in a row and winning 4 state championships. He earned a wrestling scholarship to Oklahoma State University. His senior year, he won the national championship. He received a gold medal in the 1988 Olympics and a silver medal in the 1992 Olympics.
And so, I'm excited about the future, and I'm looking forward to '96 Olympics. Bring back the gold of Tulsa.
Wayman Tisdale played basketball at an early age with his brothers Weldon and William. As he grew taller, he developed his basketball skills at Carver Junior High School. His high caliber of play at Booker T. Washington High School made him a top recruit all across the nation. He played college ball at Oklahoma University and won a gold medal with the United States basketball Olympic team. He was drafted by the Indiana Pacers and was a key member of their squad. Currently, he is playing for the Sacramento Kings.
They would always play, and they didn't have a basketball goal as such, but they had a garbage can out in the backyard that they would always play basketball, throwing the hoop in the garbage can. They throw the basketball in the garbage can, and that's what they make 2 points. Wayman would play with him until he get tired, and then he'd say, I don't want to play no more basketball.
It's always fun to go and watch him play. And he does his best, but his best hadn't really paid off for him yet. But I think, like I always tell him, be patient, and your time will come to be with a winning team if it's for you in your career.
Reggie Brooks is the younger brother of Tony Brooks. He followed in his brother's footsteps by attending Booker T. Washington High School and later becoming a member of the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. Reggie's senior year at Notre Dame was outstanding. Recently, Reggie was drafted by the Washington Redskins in the NFL draft.
I'm looking forward to it. You know, I'm looking forward to getting in there and playing against the elite of the country. You know, my brothers played a year there, and I have some other friends that play at different teams, so they've given me some idea of what I can expect. And it's not all glamour and roses once you get there. You have a lot of responsibility to your community and to the youth coming up, because you got a lot of people looking up to you.
Madeline Manning Mims, a native of Cleveland, Ohio, won a gold medal in the half-mile run at the Olympic Games. She lives in Tulsa and is the founder of Friends Fellowship Prison Ministry.
See how just a little touch of Jesus can bring a little spark of hope back. It only takes a spark to get a fire going.
There's no reason why you don't have the skills that are necessary to be transferred into every single thing you do.
3:07 left in the game. Tillman gets a hole into the clear.
You know, people respect you and admire you.
Spencer Tillman went to Edison High School and later became an All-American at the University of Oklahoma. He was captain of the world champion San Francisco 49ers, special teams powerhouse for the Houston Oilers, and currently Spencer is a sportscaster at a top 10 NBC affiliate in Houston, Texas.
From a little boy, he always has set goals for himself, and he said, well, I'm going to do this or that, and he would accomplish whatever he said he was going to do because he made up his mind, and he wasn't going to stop until he had done everything that he had planned to do.
And Spencer was just a comedian. I tell you, Spencer would not have to worry about finding a job, because if he didn't do it in his profession as a professional football player or as a commentator, he could always fall back on being a comedian.
But a lot of people ask me, Petey, do you want to be like your brother when you grow up? And I said, most of the time I answer, I said, no, because I want to be a little bit better than him.
Marcus Haynes is known as the world's greatest dribbler. Under the leadership of Coach Zip Gales of Langston University, Haynes led the Lions to victory over the Harlem Globetrotters. After playing with the Globetrotters for a while, Haynes started his own team and called them the world-famous Magicians. Although Haynes is over 70 years of age, he still plays basketball with the Magicians. Recently, he was nominated into the Sand Springs Hall of Fame. Patrick Collins was a standout at Booker T. Washington High School. He played at Oklahoma University and later played professionally with the Green Bay Packers and the Cleveland Browns. Currently, he works as a vice president at Miller Brewing Company. After an impressive college career in Oklahoma, John Starks is currently a key player for the New York Knicks. Starks is known for his outstanding defense and superb offensive shooting ability. The Metropolitan Urban League salutes Tulsa's greatest athletes.